Hello and welcome to Common Ground, an inside look at Suffolk County. I'm your host, Steve Tompkins, Chief of External Affairs for the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department. Now, today's guest is a supreme, and I want to emphasize supremely intelligent, insightful, just knows all about politics, and that would be John Walsh, the chairman of the Democratic Party. I mean, this guy knows so much about, he's probably forgotten more about what goes on politically in this state and in this country than most of us will ever know. And we're just honored to have him here today because we really want to talk about the political process. We want to talk about what's going on statewide, Commonwealth-wide, and then we want to talk about what's going on nationally. Now, as you know, we may have a couple, I don't know if we're going to have a mayor's race, but I'm not sure who's going to be in the mayor's race. But we've got the mayor's race, a potential special election, another one for senator. And then in 2014, we're going to have the gubernatorial races. So there's going to be a lot of political activity going on here in the next 2-3 years. And so we'll jump into all of that. So without much further ado, John?
Thank you for inviting me, sir.
Thanks a lot for coming on. So I'll tell you what, let's start this way. Tell the folks, what is the Democratic Party set up to do? What is it all about?
So the party is a national organization here in Massachusetts. We are made up of 600 local committees. There's one in every town and in every ward within each city. And those local committees are really the party in the communities. And that's really the basis of our strength. The state party has a governing group called the Democratic State Committee, which is a little bit over 400 folks from all corners of the Commonwealth. The majority of them get elected in districts that are based on the state Senate districts. So it keeps us diverse geographically, and we have a number of requirements or a number of responsibilities. I think sometimes the most urgent and the one that people see the most is winning elections and electing Democrats to office. And we do that in order to advance our values and our positions on policies.
Well, let me ask you, so when there's not an election afoot, what does the party do then?
So the party is very much focused on building all the time. As we look into our local committees, I'll be honest, they range the full gamut, from some that are just remarkable. Every month, multiple times a month, they're meeting, they're having issues discussions, they're organizing, they're taking on projects and issues in their own town or neighborhood that they are engaging in, whether it's cleaning up a park or having a food drive for the food pantry. They're really engaged in those things. Some of our committees are a little bit less actively engaged, and honestly, if you go across the state, there are a few that are really dormant. So what we're always looking for is new folks who share the issues, positions, and values of the party to plug in, and those doors are always wide open. We have each year brings a slightly different set of activities. This year that's coming up, for example, I know we're going to talk a little bit later about our platform process. We are in Massachusetts. We are never without a special election, it seems. Already, in a sad way, we have one state rep who passed away since the elections up on the North Shore, so we'll be contesting a special election to fill that seat. There's other rumors of some legislators who may be up for another job or whatever, so it always seems there's something along that now. So we will have, so in order to do all that, the party spends a lot of time with trainings. We are pushing very hard into technology that enables our grassroots organizers to be more effective and efficient. We spend a lot of time on that every year, election year or not. The Massachusetts Democratic Party has an annual state convention. This year it's going to be June 1st in Lowell, and at that point we will have, I think, if I'm looking ahead to that date, we will be previewing some of the potential candidates for governor and other offices in 2014. People come and they'll be able to hear and meet most of those kind of folks who are going to be thinking about a year from now. We'll also have breakout sessions and issues and training and tactics. And this year the platform will also be an important central part of our convention, deliberating and adopting the platform going forward.
Okay, so before we go forward, let me ask you a couple of things. Just cite 2 or 3 or 5 of the committees? What are some of the committees that you're talking about?
So we have in the state party, we have a number of subcommittees of members of the state, the Democratic State Committee. And we also have opportunity, I can, as chair, according to our bylaws, appoint up to 25% of any committee non-state committee members. And I try very aggressively to utilize that to reach out to folks who are, maybe interested in statewide Democratic stuff, but aren't a member of the state committee. Maybe they're state committee member in their district they really like, so they're not going to run against them. So the kind of committees we see, we have a very active communications committee that is putting out information all the time, that's helping local committees engage. Sometimes the local committee has someone who's got some expertise at writing a press release or getting out stuff on their local cable. Sometimes they need some help, so we have a good committee there. We have a committee called the Field Services Committee, which is really in full support of local committees. Their unofficial responsibility is the care and feeding of town and ward committees. So helping them, there's always something, a bylaws question or, just an idea, and they do a lot of training around the caucuses that elect delegates. We have an affirmative action outreach committee, which is designed to make sure our party in its leadership and its operation reflects the full diversity of the Commonwealth up and down, and we've got a really excellent committee that works on that. And we have public policy committee. There's a women's outreach committee, a senior outreach committee, veterans and military.
So just about for every issue or every walk, you've got something that would address things that are very important to people.
Exactly, and they're all on our website, which is massdems.org. If you look up in the top corner, it says Your Party, click down, State Committee. It'll give you not only a list of who the state committee members are, but the different subcommittees and who serves on them. So that's all there. So if someone's interested, they can take a look through and see which one might have some interest.
So a moment ago, you said that you can appoint up to 25% of the committee with non-party folks, so on and so forth, state people. Do you find that it's tough thing to do to recruit people to join committees and join parties? Or do you find that there really are a lot of civically active, civically interested folks that really do want to give up some time to be involved?
I think that I think there's a remarkable amount of people who are interested in engaging. One of the things that's interesting is not all of them really want to work on a statewide basis. They really are focused on their community. And so if someone is trying to decide, my personal preference would be to have strong local committees. So if you only have 5 hours a month and you're trying to decide between the two, so you'll see a lot of that. But there are many people who are active in their local area and see a need and have an interest in moving forward. So to answer your specific question, I don't think we have so much trouble recruiting folks, but I think lots of times people don't realize the opportunities are there, or they're trying to wonder. So we're always trying to push out, through website or with active Facebook and Twitter efforts to put issues and our activities out into folks who might plug in with us. But for people who have an interest, there's always a way to do it. We have 4 state committee meetings a year that go around the state. They're not all in the same place, but they're all open to the public. Certainly, by our bylaws, they're open to the public. We really encourage any Democrat who's interested to come and sit through them. Sometimes, like a lot of times, meetings can be business. If you're not into the business of the operation of the committee, budget reports and so forth, they might not. The subcommittees might be a place where there's more specific action stuff, whereas the state committee is as much as anything a governing body.
Now, do you have a fair representation of communities of color in all of this big party?
Yes.
Do you have a good percentage of folks of color that are engaged and involved?
We do. As a matter of fact, our party's charter, bylaws, and all of our regulating documents require that we have a proactive reach to make sure we have a diverse representation. So at a very base level, all of our state committee and our efforts are all by requirement gender balanced, so equal number of men and women. And then we have a really strong commitment to reach out into diverse communities. And as a matter of fact, the membership of our committee is, in addition to many folks who get elected into the regular slots. We also have a number, 30, 40 people that are elected to the committee in affirmative actions outreach slots that are deliberately set aside for communities of color to make sure that we're getting out there. The structure of some Senate districts, what was found, and this has been the case for many years, so this diversity requirement's not something I started, but that I inherited, which is great. The redistricting process sometimes, the Senate districts don't always, if you just elected people by Senate districts, you wouldn't have as much diversity as our preference. So there's a real effort there. And one of my main areas of focus is to diversify not only the membership here, but the leadership of our party in all those different areas, because it's an important thing. I think it's fair to say that there have been times where the party has not had the strongest history, and maybe we take for granted, maybe we are not proactive, maybe the party sometimes comes across as a little bit of a inside club, and so that's a real serious concern, and a place that I spend a decent amount of my time trying to correct that and to reverse it. And we're having some good success. So, for example, there's one example here is our big focus structurally as a party next year, subject to we may have a special election, is the platform process. And the chair of our platform committee is Mayor Seti Warren from Newton, who's done a great job, and I'm proud that you will serve as one of the members of our drafting committee. But I think our drafting committee reflects the diversity geographically, racially, gender-wise, all those areas around the Commonwealth, and we're very, very happy with that.
And that's where I was going to go. So talk to the folks about what the party platform is. What is that for folks that don't know?
So the platform is a document that is in its ideal form is a statement of who we are and what we stand for. People have different opinions of what a party platform should be beyond that. Sometimes you'll see, and we have a debate about it every 4 years, and I'm sure we're going to have another one. You have some members of the party who think that the party's platform should be a very, it should be a statement of values, a broad swath of this is the general idea of what direction we're going. We have other people who believe it should be extremely specific, and it should really drill down into, some people propose line items, state budget line item X should be X number of dollars. In fact, the platform we have right now, and I think I personally like it, is somewhat of a hybrid of the two. So it has a one-page statement of values at the front end that broadly describes what we believe as Democrats. It then goes in the second section, in the meat of the platform, has 11 different sections, education, healthcare, so on, that has a couple paragraphs that describes our philosophy in that area, and then has a list of bullet points say we believe this, 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 and this. Sometimes in the past our platform has gotten so specific that it becomes out of date. So if you say we believe line item should be $10 million, and 2 years in it's $12 million, are you saying it should be cut? So so I think that last time the delegates at the convention moved in that direction to make sure there was specifics in the platform. But I'll give you an example. With all of the current focus with Newtown, Connecticut on gun violence, I went to our party platform and I look at it and I think we're maybe not specific enough here. And I suspect that's going to be a place, and that's the nature, the other part of it, it's a living document. Now, one thing about the platform, it's probably a good idea to think a little bit about what it's not.